Man, I just had to hop on here and wanted to say a few things, share a few thoughts. And this is not planned, pre-recorded or anything. Um, it's Saturday, May 30th, 2020. And hear me out for just like a couple minutes. Like I promise I won't be that long. I actually have a lot more free time now because I couldn't, I wasn't able to record the interview, which is fine. The emergency happened. So, I have this time right now to take and basically share my thoughts. And, just regardless of what side you are on and all the news that you see on TV, and regardless of what you think of people and what side politically you're on, what side emotionally you're on, it doesn't matter. Just take a step back real quick. Take a step back, almost like you're a third person in all this, right? Whatever's going on in the news, whatever's going on in your life. And like I said, it doesn't matter what side you're on. I don't want to hear it if you're right wing or if you're liberal or if you're what race you are, religion you are. I don't want to hear it. I just want you to hear me out as a human being to human being. And take a step back. Take a step back and look at all this. And this shit is trash, man. This shit is fucked up. Like, really fucked up. And like I said, don't take into consideration what side you are on. Just look at this from a bigger picture. And there's a lot of hate in the world right now. There's a lot of anger. Rightfully so. I feel angry too. And sometimes it's hard to get rid of that anger. And so I think a lot of times we take it out on each other. But why? Why do we take it out on each other? Why do we think, this, again, hear me out. I don't care what side you support or are on. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. How could we hate another person this much? How could we do this to ourselves? We are all the same human beings, Like, we're all one species. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of nuts. We inhabited this earth, such a long time ago, right? It feels like we just own this thing, but we don't. Like, this is something that we currently are living on, right? And I'm not like a big tree hugger or organic or vegan person, but I understand certain things, right? And like I said, if you're on the opposite side and you don't think any of this is true, just for, the rest of this video, just think of 5 of the scenarios or things that you think are fake news or whatever about the earth. Just think of 2 of them as like, what if they were true, and worst case scenario true, right? Like, what is this earth going to look like in like 20 to 50 years if we keep at the same pace and we keep, doing all the things that we do to hurt each other and our race? And, yeah, it's fucked up. This shit's not going to end well. Not going to end well. For us, especially, I think for the earth, obviously, too. And for other animals and species, right? Not just us, not just the earth, animals and species here on too. And the point I'm trying to get at is, who are we to do all this shit? You know what I'm saying? We don't own what. I don't care if you have a house, you rent an apartment in the projects. I don't care if you own an island. Just right now, like, who are we to say this planet Earth was ours, right? Who are we to say this piece of land is so-and-so's, and this piece of land, you can't come to my land because, that you have your land and I have my land, right? That's essentially what all this is. We just essentially went to different pieces of land and we said, hey, we're going to draw this a fucking imaginary line and you can't come across it unless you do this, or that, or we're going to beat you up, or whatever the case is. That's just been going on for history in total, man. And like, why do we do that? Like generally, what drives us to do that? And like, why does that keep us? Because one, that sets us back so much as a culture, as a race, not a culture, as a race and whole, like the human species. And I know we're capable of great things, I mean, look at all the smartest dudes. I mean, just think of like simple stuff. I mean, just think of like the lights here in this garage, right? Like, we made lights. We were like we had to rely on sunlight for the longest time, and then boom, someone was like, hey, what if we created electricity and a light bulb? Boom, that changed the game, right? No longer do we have to do shit in the day. We could do stuff at night. So just simple things, man. Just think about music and like art and, the simplest things, how a bike works. We created that, us as a human species, but we also created all this hate and tension in big cities and this racial divide, and we created imaginary borders that don't exist in land to keep people separate from one another. And I think it's dumb. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say, like, an alternate universe, it's not even based on the color of your skin, it's based on it sounds dumb to us now, but what if it was the color of your eyes? You know what I'm saying? And it's happened in history before. I know Hitler had the whole thing with like liking blue-eyed people; they were the superior race. But what if we judge people by, I don't know, the size of their hands, like something outrageous to where you would think that's a dumb thing to fucking, yo, if your hand is bigger than 9 inches from your thumb to your pinky, you know, you're a superior person. All you short, small-handed people, you're done for. Like, fuck you. You're in the dirt. We're gonna make you whatever. I don't want to go through the whole thing in history of the human species, but that's what we did. That's what we did with color. We just said, hey, if I was born darker brown, I know some of you guys would have an automatic stereotype of me. That's just the truth. And if I was born, you know, of Asian background and I had a different pigment on my skin, you guys would already think a certain way of me. If I was, you know, whiter, and you guys would think a certain way of me. So no matter what side you're on, I'm just saying right now you have a predisposed perception of me, and this went longer than I wanted to. But you have a predisposed image and thought of me, of who I am as a person, just because of years and years of bullshit, years and years of rumors. How many genuinely bad people do you really know of that other side that you don't support? It doesn't matter if it's racial, if it's cultural, if it's religion, if it's, you know, they don't work out and you do, or whatever. I don't know. Whatever divides you from that person or that group of people you don't like, you can, who are we to say that should judge a person whether they're quality or not, whether they're a good human being or not? And I think what's fucked up, like I said, going back to the earth thing, is, you know, I'm only 25, right? And I don't care how old you are, but there's someone younger than you that hasn't done the things that you wanted to do, right? Think about it. I'm 25, you know, I want to buy a house one day. I want to have kids. I want to have my own family. I want to have, like, I don't want to have like a 9 to 5, but I want to have like a career. I want a job that, you know, pays me well, that I could, you know, afford to buy a car, but also can like sign my kids up for, you know, their little leagues or whatever. Like, I want to kind of have like that normal dad life. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get that. And you may be younger than me and be thinking like, well, what if that's not what I want? Okay, let's say you're 20, let's say you're 18, let's say you're even like 15 or 16. Think about how many 10, 11, 12-year-olds think, I want to grow up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what teenage years are like. I want to know what high school like. And I know sometimes we have a negative perception of high school, or whatever you think of it. It doesn't matter. They got to do things. They haven't done certain things in their lives that we have done in our lives that we take for granted. And I think if we keep this rate up, we're not going to give those kids a normal life. We're not going to give people younger than me a normal life. Think about even, okay, we'll go older. What if you're a 40-year-old and you haven't retired? You know, there's a lot of people still working that are just waiting on retirement. And bro, they're probably pissed right now because they might not get a retirement. You know what I'm saying? And I understand your point of view too. But think about the 30-year-old who didn't have their kid yet, or who are just, you know, they just got engaged and they haven't even begun their marriage. They haven't even begun to buy a house, or whatever you think is a milestone. Doesn't matter if it's family-based or career-based. It really doesn't matter. Everyone has their own goals. Think about someone 10 years younger than you that has that same goal as you. That, you know, for me, that someone, there's a 15-year-old that wants to host a podcast and, you know, become a sports broadcaster that hasn't even gotten to go to college and learn anything about that. And I think when you put that perspective on things, man, I think you understand how fucked up this is and what we're doing to our youth. And like I said, youth, if you're an 80-year-old, could be someone who's 70. Youth to a 50-year-old could be someone who's 25, and youth to a 25-year-old could be something different to someone who's 15. So, you know, I encourage you guys just to take a step back and look at this bigger perspective. Look at this, how we're hurting us as a species and a race, and the human race. You know what I'm saying? We're all the human race. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, colors your eye, your stupid hand size, how tall you are. Doesn't matter. Just, we're all humans. We're all the same species. We're all trying to live on this planet together. We all have similar struggles, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. we're not that different. And it's silly to think that where we were born, on what piece of land, or what color of skin we are, or color eyes, or whatever else you use, hair, hand size, height, shouldn't mean a damn thing. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Just had to get some shit off my chest. Shout out to AJ, who wrote a dope article on Locker Room Sports about Kaepernick and his protesting. Check that shit out. That shit inspired me to do this video. So yeah, man, stay safe out there and do what you gotta do. But consider the things that I just said, man. Peace.